slick talking since a jit. One inch on all the time. Yeah, look at the way that I move. Swag, disrespectful and I'm rude. Okay, I had cocaine in school. When I one hell of a kid. I am smoking gas, drinking mid. I'm lit. What you doing? I done did. I swear, slick talking since a jit. Finesse. I know that this what they want. Facts. Run up some money, I'm gone.
I hit my 1 like goal. Please don't laugh. I only have 17 subscribers. But I'm still happy that we hit it within 6 hours. I was looking to hit it in about 8 to 12 hours, but we hit it in 6 hours. Well, 5 hours. So thanks. My next video will also be 1 like. But as we were in the last video, Naruto left the village. Hinata came with them. Basically, they turned into boyfriend and girlfriend. He saved one kid earlier on and made him into a straight, complete OP beast. And then he met another girl. And now they're going to the Leaf Village. Okay. Now they're at the front gate. The 2 men at the front gate don't recognize Naruto because he got a lot taller. He has like the Kakashi look. And he has on all black. What they know Naruto loves is orange. Okay. So Naruto's like, I want to go and see Lady Hokage. And then they're like, what business do you have? Show us your papers. Naruto said, I don't have any papers, but if you don't get out my way, I'll break your legs. And then they just said, open it up. Because the people at the gate, I think they're only high-level Chunin or low-level Jonin, so I'll be scared too. And then Naruto just walked through the village. Most people didn't recognize him, but the ones who did gave him looks of disgust. Naruto just looked back at them like, if you talk about me talk about my family in front of me, I'll kill you all. And then they just looked away because they were scared. So he walked up in the Hokage's office. So now they're like, what is this immense chakra coming towards me? It's 2 of them. The second chakra signature is Hinata. Even though the boy's pretty strong, he don't have as much chakra as like Tsunade. He don't have that strong of a chakra. So Tsunade was like, Anbu. And then all of her Anbu came in front of her and they were ready to attack. But when she came in, he said, hey, Granny. And then when she heard that voice, she turned around, she said, Naruto. It can't be. She turned around, she saw Naruto and Hinata. She said, how did you two get so strong? And what was that chakra I felt? Because she knew they were strong in the first place. But she knew they had to get stronger. And then she said, how did you get that much chakra? And then he was like, oh, chakra control training and chakra training. You know, chakra reserve is higher. And then she was like, what brings you back? Oh, you and Jiraiya. That's pretty much it. You, Jiraiya, and Ruka, Ichiraku, and his daughter. That's pretty much it. No one else in the village really deserves any attention from me. And Team 7 just walked in and heard this. Because Sasuke's already came back, and he's like, what you say, you dope? And then Sakura says, don't talk about us like that. Because my Sasuke-kun is the best. And then Kakashi was just like, why Naruto? And then Naruto turned around and was like, Sakura, you're still weaker than me. You're still useless. Sasuke, you're not worth. Sasuke, you think you're strong, but I would pretty much just destroy you. And Kakashi, you're not worth my time. Hearing this, all 3 of them would get mad, and then Sakura would be like, I'm the second strongest healing ninja in the Leaf. And then Naruto would be like, you can't beat Hinata, so you can't beat Hinata. Hinata will whoop you any day of the week. Oh, Hinata. You see that mark on her forehead? Hinata has the same thing. Sakura would say, how? Oh, that's an ancient Uzumaki technique. Because Granny Tsunade, she's part Uzumaki. And I hate that you would teach it to this low-level weakling. And Tsunade would say, you taught it to Hinata. Yes. I'm half Uzumaki. You're only a 4th Uzumaki. You don't have the right to teach it to anyone else. But I'll give you the, I'll let you, because even if you're part Uzumaki, you still teach to other people. But the people you teach it to, if they're not Uzumaki, they can't teach to anyone. So anyone who she teaches to, I'm either kill her or the person who she taught it to. And then Sakura's like, wow. And then Sasuke was like, what you gonna do to my girlfriend? And he was like, oh, Sakura, you finally got your wish? Sasuke being your boyfriend? How is it being the second weakest teenage couple sound? The second strongest? Because me and Hinata are the strongest. And then they were like, oh, you want to go? And then Kakashi was like, why does your headman like that, Naruto? He was like, oh, y'all didn't know I have a Sharingan too. And Tsunade was like, where did you get that from? Oh, it was in my Uzumaki, library, because when three of the five great nations attacked, some Uchiha was in there, and they killed the Uchiha and took their eyes. So yeah, and then Tsunade would say, how evolved is it? Oh, it's a 3-tomo. And then she would say, what? And then he would say, yeah. I didn't really do anything to it. I just leave it right here. I haven't really used it that much. But I know how to copy jutsu and pretty much all the other stuff that you do with the Sharingan. I'm faster than Lee. Stronger than Tsunade. Have better Sharingan than everybody except for 3 people in this village. Except for 3 people. Let's see. I have more chakra than the Otsutsuki. He's just stating the stuff facts. Like, he just goated. And then Tsunade is like, how did you get this strong in this short amount of time? And he's like, oh, that's classified information. I can't be telling my secrets. And he's like, please, Naruto. And he's like, oh, I'm straight. And then she asks, who's those 2 behind you? Oh, this is my, this is my little brother and my little sister. Saruto Uzumaki. And I don't think I said the girl's name. So I'm going to say her name is Rin Uzumaki. In, like, dedication of Rin, Kakashi's little teammate. And then he's like, Rin Uzumaki and, what? Why? Who are they? Come on. And then he's like, oh, yeah, my little brother Saruto is actually part of Uchiha too. And he has the 3 Tomoe Sharingan in both eyes. And then Sasuke be like, what, that little brat? And then he'll be like, hey, don't talk about my little brother. Because Naruto just came up, grabbed Sasuke's shirt, put him on the wall and said, you ever speak ill of my little brother again, that will be your life. And Sasuke's scared now, because he activated his Sharingan because he got mad that little boy unlocked his 3 Tomoe. And then he couldn't even see Naruto. Like, Naruto wasn't even a blur. He couldn't see him. And Kakashi was like, what? Sasuke is the strongest person in the village. And then Naruto was like, this weakling? Wow, no wonder the Cloud wants to kill y'all. And then Tsunade was like, how you know about that? I have my own spy organization. Cause I built up my own spy organization. And then after he said that, Tsunade was like, wow. And Danzo was just in the background hearing this, and Naruto was like, I'm gonna go and talk to the rest of my other friends. So he told everybody to gather up at an eating place, basically. And then everybody was just eating together. And everybody was just eating together. And then there were only enough seats for like he let Kakashi come because Kakashi isn't half bad. He just didn't like Sakura and Sasuke. So sorry, that's my auntie's dog. I'm at her house. And then like Sasuke and Sakura were really mad because everybody was there. All the other squad captains, well, all of the Jonin squad leaders, Jiraiya, Tsunade, and the rest of the rookies, plus plus Neji, Tenten, and Lee. There was and Shizune and his brother and sister. There was enough room for everybody, but that was it. They didn't have any more space for Sasuke and Sakura. And then Sakura and Sasuke were like, "Where's our seats?" And then And then Naruto wasn't even paying attention to him. But his little sister and little brother said, you, Sasuke Uchiha, are dead to my big brother. And then the little girl said, you, Sakura Haruno, are dead to my big brother. And then they were like, what? And and then both of them was about to try and hit the kids. Well, they're not kids. They're only 1 and 2 years. I don't even know. So they were trying to hit them. And then Naruto got up, grabbed both of their hands, and threw them back. Just enough so they'd get away from them. And he said, what did I tell you, Sasuke? You touch my family, you die. And by my calculations, I just told you that. So now you have to die. And Tsunade says, no, Naruto. And he says, you remember my old ninja way, don't you? I always keep my word. And then Hinata said, please, Naruto, do it for me. And then he'll just say, okay, fine. But at that moment, Naruto didn't know he just unlocked his Mangekyo Sharingan because he saw his family in danger. Even though he knew he could stop it, he was still scared for him. So he unlocked his Mangekyo Sharingan, and then he put up his eye. He was like, what is this? And he opened his eye. Everybody looked and said, Mangekyo? And then Naruto was like, oh, well, good for me. But Sasuke and Sakura, please just stay away from me. I just want to spend time with the people I actually know and love. And then they were like, oh, okay. And then, but during the meal, Naruto sent Shadow Clone to go and get Ichiraku and his daughter, and Iruka, because just so happens Iruka is at the ramen shop. So because Ichiraku was just closing the shop, he said, "Can you come and eat with us? I know we're already kind of halfway through our meal, but I still wanted you to come and eat with us." And then Iruka was like, "Yeah, sure." And then they got this information back to Naruto, and Naruto was like, "Oh, Iruka's coming." And then Iruka and everybody else, they said, "You can grab a chair." And then they grabbed the chair everybody was eating. And Sakura and Sasuke were just mad. And then Naruto paid for everybody food. It was like 50,000 yen. How you said Naruto? Oh, 50,000 Ryu. And Ryu is basically 10 times as much as American dollars. So it's basically $5,000 because he bought the most expensive food for his family and friends. And then he was like, I just paid for the food, everybody. We can go and chill at my apartment. Cause he just bought an apartment for a month because he wanted to stay with his family for a couple of days, at least for a couple of weeks, I meant. And then he was like, everybody can come to my apartment that I got, temporary apartment, not staying here, just temporary. And then they were like, oh, okay. And then everybody went to the party, and he paid like Ambu to stand in front of the yard. He paid him 50,000 Ryu to stand in front and let people on the list come in. And you guessed it, Sakura and Sasuke were not on the list, so they made them pissed. So they basically doused the Ambu, beat him up, and then Naruto was like, here goes 100,000 Ryu. So he basically paid the man $15,000, 5,000 for doing his jump, and 10,000 for getting beat by Sakura and Sasuke. And he was like, I know they're pretty strong, so you can just go home and take this. And he gave the man the money. He was like, why did you just break my house? I was only supposed to be here for a month, now I have to pay double. And they're like, we don't care, why weren't we invited? And then Naruto was like, you? You're that to me. Didn't my brother and my sisters already tell you that? And then both of them tried to grab him. He said, his brother jumped up and cut Sasuke's arm. And then Sasuke was like, what was that? And he was like, you couldn't see him? And he was just laughing. And then Sasuke was like, what's so funny? I didn't even cut you. That was my little brother. But, oh, your Sharingan's too weak to see him. And then Sasuke got mad and he pulled up his internal Mangekyo. Because he already beat Itachi. And then Naruto was like, wow, I'm so scared. And then Sasuke was just getting mad. He was bawling. And then Sakura was like, don't talk about Sasuke coming like that. And then she said, cha, and tried to punch him, which is a very bad battle phrase. And then his sister, who on the way, he wasn't letting her wear weights because they ain't that big. They're like 25 pounds. And then he taught her how to put chakra in front of her. And by the way, she had a lot of chakra for some reason. But she's not from a known clan. She just has a lot of chakra. And then she put as much chakra as she can into her hands and put both her hands together and said, shield. And then it was like Sakura just punched the chakra coming out her hands and she couldn't get through. And he was like, wow. I just taught her this move, and you're not strong enough to break it. And then he was like, hey, Nata, can we get back to partying? Well, that's what Nata said to him. And then he was like, my shadow clones are going to have to fit the walls first, so the party's paused. And everybody was looking at Sakura and Sasuke like, wow, you just had to blow the move. And then Shikamaru was like, this the biggest drag y'all don't ever had me. And then Shikamaru, again, I said, he was like, this the biggest drag I don't ever did. Such trash. And then Naruto was like, isn't Gaara and Kankuro and Tamari here yet? And then they just walked through the door like, what happened? And then they're like, and then everybody looked at them, and then Jiraiya was drunk because he had some sake. He was like, Sasuke and Sakura blew the mood again. And God was just looking at them like, I should kill you. Because that was just so lame. Right before they got to the party, they blew the whole mood. And then Naruto was like, it won't take nothing but a couple minutes. But as again I said, my sister is only 14, so she's going to have to get in bed at about 10 or 11. And it's only 9:30, so you don't have that much time left. We only had 20 more minutes left for the party. And then I was looking at Sakura and Sasuke like, wow, you really had to blow the mood, didn't you? And they were like, his sister has to go to bed. It's not our fault. You the one who blew the party for 10 minutes. We'd have had 30 more minutes. And then everybody was like, just keep partying, man. But you two do not step foot in my house, or I will have to hurt you. Sasuke was like, what you say, you dope? And he tried to punch Naruto, and Naruto just said, and dodged Sasuke and chopped him in the neck and said, here you go, Sakura, take him home. And then Sakura tried to attack him. He said, please, Hinata, I do not want to hit a girl. And then Hinata just came around and just punched Sakura in her face. And then Sakura just out. And then he said, but please can you take these two to the infirmary? Here's go another 50,000 Ryu, which is actually $5,000. So you can pay the man $20,000. And then the man's like, alright. But if they wake up and try to hit me, that's going to cost a little bit more. Then Naruto's like, here you go, 50,000 Ryu in advance. So that's $25,000 basically. And then the man's like, thank you. And cut quickly on the way. As soon as he get them into the building, they both punched the Anbu, and then the Anbu was like, no, I should have got the money. And he did, so he was like, well, at least I got paid for it. And then they were walking back to the party. The party was over. Naruto was putting his sister to sleep. He was like, oh, you too, little bro. And he was like, wow, why? And he was like, it's my special day in a couple weeks. That's why I wanted to come so I could celebrate with all my friends and family. And then he was just sitting there with everybody. And then the next day, for the next couple of days, they were just partying. And then on his birthday, he was like, I don't really want to do nothing for my birthday. I want to spend time with my family, pretty much. My brother, my sister, and my girlfriend. He was like, who want to have a movie night tonight on my birthday? I already ordered a cake and everything else. And then they were like, yay, big bro. And then Hinata was like, you're sweet, honey. And then he was like, I know, Hinata-chan. And then she put her head on his chest, and he just put his hand on her hand, and they said, and then they started smiling because they felt happy together. And then she looked at two kids watching the movie, and then she felt so happy, and she was thinking like, Naruto would be a great dad. And then she like, what's that? Thought of it. Then Naruto said, what's wrong? And he said, oh, nothing. And then everybody that had movie night, he had his cake. And then everybody went to sleep. So this is the last day. He's like, everybody, I'm going to go now. But the day on his birthday when he was just chilling, Danzo had a meeting. He was like, we have to get Naruto back to the village. I saw how strong he was and how he did our strongest person, Sasuke Uchiha. He destroyed him. And then all the council members were looking like, what? He can't destroy Sasuke Uchiha. And then Tsunade was like, and Jiraiya was like, you straight up beat Sasuke with one hit. And then everybody was looking amazed. And they were like, yes, we have to get Naruto back. And then they kept, and then Tsunade said, Naruto, can you come to the council meeting? These bastards want to talk to you. And then Naruto was like, oh, I already know what this is about. So Naruto came in, he said, no. And then they said, you don't even know what we're about to ask you. Danzo was spying on me yesterday. I already knew he was because I'm a great sensory ninja. And I know that he saw how strong I was, so he wants me to come back to the Leaf, and all of you agree, and you're gonna try to bribe me in some way, but no way will work. And I know Danzo right now is trying to kidnap my family. That's why I love my summoning there with them. And my summoning is telepathically telling me that he just killed all of your root Umbu. And then Danzo was like, preposterous. I'm glad I left my wolf summon. Wolf summon, please bring me one of the people. And he brought one of the people, and then everybody was just like, Danzo. And then he's like, oh yeah, he not to, and then Polar Bear says he not to have to kill one of them because they were trying to attack my little sister. My poor defenseless little sister. Danzo, you know what I do to people who mess with my family? And Danzo was like, I don't care. And then Naruto was like, oh, you think you're all big and bad because you have Shisui's Mangekyo Sharingan and all of those other Sharingan implanted in your arm? Oh, what are they called again? They like, oh yeah, they keep you from dying, the Izanagi. And then Danzo was like, you brat. And then Tsunade was like, if you have nothing to hide, Danzo, show us the arm and the eye patch. And then Danzo was like, okay. And then he pulled it off, but he had like one of his strongest genjutsus on it because he had Shisui's eye. And then Naruto was like, please turn off the genjutsu, Danzo. And then Danzo was like, how did you know? And then Naruto just ripped out Shisui's eye and then cut off his whole arm. And he showed Tsunade. Tsunade was like, wow, Danzo. And then Danzo was defenseless now. He tried to hit a wind bullet. Naruto cut through that and just cut off Danzo's neck. And he was like, deserve to die. And everybody was like, how did you know? Oh, I'm a sensory ninja. A sensory combat ninja. My little brother, he's a sensory combat ninja. My little sister, she's a medic genjutsu user. And Hinata is a combat medic. Similar to Sakura, just way stronger. And then everybody like, please, can you come back? And he actually's like, my daughter's that strong? And then he was like, yeah. She always had potential. You just never let her unlock it. And he was like, wow. And then Tsunade was like, Naruto, what is your choice? Do you want to come back to the village or not? And he was like, no. Well, I'm not going to say no. If my brother and my sister and Hinata want to go, but if one of them say no, we not come. I don't really care as long as it's their choice. If they want me to come back to the village, I'll come back. But if none of them want me to come back to the village, I will not come back. And then Danzo's like, and then Danzo just on the floor, dead. So everybody else just like, okay. So, because Danzo was really the only one who's going to say something against it. And then Naruto went back and asked him. Hinata said, well, I do want to come back and see my friends and my family. So, yes. And then his little brother said, yeah, it's a great chance for me to get stronger. And then his little sister said, if my mom and dad's here, can we postpone it? I'll come back once they leave. And then Naruto said, oh, they just left. Yeah, big bro, I'll stay. And then Naruto's like, what? How many houses do you have that can fit? That's near the Hokage's office and has 5 rooms. And then it says, why do you need that many? Please, can you just answer my question? And then people said yes. How much will it cost a month? And then they're like 50,000 Ryu, $5,000. And he was like, okay. I'm not doing any shooting exam, so you might as well give me the rank of Anbu Captain Leader. Give Hinata the rank of Jonin. Give my little brother the rank of Special Tuning. And give my sister the rank of a Chunin. Because all of them are that strong. I've assisted. And Tsunade knows she can trust my judgment, so please can you just come on with it. And then she's like, first, I know I'm going to give you and Hinata your ranks. Your brother did get Sasuke off guard, so I'll give him Special Tuning or Low Jonin, whichever one he picks. And then your sister, we're going to have to go with her. Oh, yeah, Tsunade. And then Naruto get like when they put like one fist on the ground and then they batter her head, he's like, please train my sister in the arts of medical jutsu. I'm going to ask Kurenai to teach her again jutsu, please, Tsunade. And then Tsunade be like, I'll happily be her teacher. And then Naruto says, thank you. And then she assessed the girl, and then it turns out the girl, she's actually a low Chunin, so she gives her the rank of Chunin. The boy, he says he'll be Special Chunin instead of Jonin. Hinata's a Special Jonin, And Naruto is on the level of a Anbu captain. So she just gave him the rank of Anbu captain and special Jonin. So while all of this happened, Sasuke's like, what? He's an Anbu captain already? I'm not even an Anbu captain. And then Tsunade's like, well, he is really stronger than you. And then Sasuke's like, what squad is he leading anyway? Tsunade's like, Sasuke, he's leading your squad. And he said, as first order of leader, you're kicked off the team. And he's going to let his brother take your place. Because both of you have the Sharingan and use swords. And then Sasuke was like, what? He went behind my back and did that? And then she was like, well, it's really not his fault. And then Sasuke was just mad. He was like, all right, I want to take the head Anbu captain test. And then she was like, okay. He passed it, surprisingly. He only had like a B. If it like ranking it like from F to a A+, he had like a B+ or A-. And then she was like, well, you are qualified to be an Anbu captain, but Naruto still has a higher rank than you. And then he said, why? Because he's a special Anbu captain, which means he can have a team of Anbu captains under him. And then Sasuke's like, what? Let me take that test. And he failed. He had a D+. And then she said, well, I'm afraid you're not good enough, Sasuke. And then Sasuke said, why? I'm stronger than him. And then Tsunade is just looking like, Sasuke, he beat you with one hit. And then Sasuke is like, I have to get stronger some way, somehow. And then Tsunade is like, if you ever leave the village again, you will never be able to come back. And then Sasuke said, I don't care. He tried to run off. Naruto chopped him in the neck because he was hearing what was going on. And he said, here you go, Granny Tsunade. Throw him in jail or whatever you're going to do. But just please don't send him my way. And then Tsunade was like, okay. And once the, let's go over to the Cloud Village. Once the Cloud Village heard that Naruto, and his wife, and his little brother came in, and they have a new member of their team, he was like, I think we're going to have to call off this war. And he called off the war. Naruto and his brother both learned Fox Sage Mode, and Hinata, she's going to learn Slug Sage Mode, because I'm going to say that was a demon slug that taught her. So they can be very OP. He already had Casey and Mama because him and Kurama was agreeing from the get-go. And then he, the next day on his, when he first got his house, he invited Jiraiya. He said, may I please have the key? And then Jiraiya was like, are you strong enough to handle Nine Tails? Jiraiya, please. Please, Jiraiya. And then Jiraiya was like, well, yeah, you are right. And then Naruto just turned around. And he was just like, well, Kurama, I let you out your cage. His daddy and mom can't. He said, he punched his dad in the stomach, but he hugged his mom. He said, Mom, I love you. And then she said, I love you too, Naruto. His dad said, I'm sorry. And then he said, I forgive you. And then he touched Hinata and let her into the mindset. And then his mom said, who is this? She's very pretty. And he said, this is my future wife, my fiance. And then she would say, is she strong? And he would say, yeah, she's a special Jonin. And his dad would be like, okay, what's your rank? Oh, Dad, well, you see, I'm pretty weak. And his dad would be like, I know you're lying. I know you did not just open his cage. And I know Jiraiya, wow, you just played me there, didn't you? He was like, yeah, I'm a special Anbu captain. And he was like, wow, you're that high? You're right under Hokage. And he was like, oh, no, I'm actually the strongest person in the village. Pretty much one of the strongest people in the world, but I could be the strongest. And then his dad like, wow, pretty good. What is Hinata's rank? At least in the top 20, most likely. And he's like, what is yours? Top 2. Well, I'm top 3, top 5, basically. And he's like, So he's just like, wow, my son's pretty strong. And he's like, Dad, I'm going to give you and Mom more chakra. So you can speak to me. And he's like, no. But and he says, I know the Edo Tensages, and I know a way to bring you alive for a day so you can meet your grandkids. grandkid, Naruto, how old are you? I'm 16, Mom. Well, I just turned 17. Hinata's 17 too. And then she's like, what? You talk about kids? I'm talking about in the future, Mom. I won't be thinking about that until I'm at least 20. And then she'll be like, oh, okay. Hinata, please take care of my son. She'll say, I will now. And then he'll say, I'll use the Edo Tensei Jutsu. I'll sacrifice 100 clones so you can be with your grandkids for as long as you want. 100 days. Then they're like, one day I'll be fine, Naruto. And then Naruto's like, okay. So you fast forward 4 years. 4 years. Sasuke got over his grudge. Naruto, he didn't hate Sasuke no more, but he didn't like them. He could deal with them, basically. His little brother turned into an Anbu captain. Naruto wanted to be Hokage, but he just thought it wasn't for him. So he moved up another rank. He moved up to general. So basically, he could have special Anbu captains under him. He's basically like the Hokage's right-hand man. Not like they're like how Shikaku was to the third Hokage, like the person who helped them like their paperwork and stuff. Like Tsunade was to Tsunade, but like how Danzo was to the third Hokage, except he's good. So he's like Kakashi's basically his right-hand man who hit his general. And then Hinata moved up to a a special Anbu captain. But she doesn't really be an Anbu. She just had that rank. She's pretty much just still a Jonin because she don't really like to go on Anbu missions, and Naruto doesn't make her. But his brother is a Anbu captain, so he's like, good job. His sister is actually a special Jonin now. She's very good. And turn around, but she has poison release. That's goated. I forgot what you need to make poison release. I think you need wind and like what you call it? I forgot what you need. But I'm just gonna say she had a Kekkei Genkai for poison release. That's a good save. And then she'll make like poison clouds. They call her the queen. They call her the poison queen. Basically, that's her name. And Naruto is known out throughout the world and feared. And then Hinata and Naruto had Baruto. And then Konohamaru, he wasn't trained by Naruto, but his rival wasn't Naruto anymore. It was Saruto. Him and Saruto went head to head and everything. And him and Saruto were actually on the same Anbu team. Konohamaru was the second in command for the Anbu team. And then he would say, I'm straight with this. But he still called Naruto big bro. Baruto was very strong when he was a kid. He was picking up tables and beds. One day when Naruto wouldn't wake up, he picked up Naruto's whole bed and flipped it over. And I'm telling you, this little boy is strong. He's 1 year old, walking around. He's so smart and intelligent. He walking around. He's saying dad, mama, no, yes. He's saying basic words already. He's just a complete genius. And he has the strength to go with it. And then Naruto looked at what his son chakra natures are. He only had 2 chakra natures. Well, that's in the future. In the future, in like the next video, he gonna have 2 chakra natures. Well, never mind. I ain't gonna really do another video. The only video I'm gonna do after this is the Akatsuki battle. Cause they already had Baruto. So I'm gonna say that like the Akatsuki, most of them were defeated. It was just Obito and the black and white Zetsu. So they had to make like a whole Zetsu army and like get them loaded up like way more. So they had to wait a couple more years to get their ranks back up. And then they had the 5 Kage Summit, which Naruto came with Kakashi. Hinata was there with the baby, Baruto. And then Saruto was with Hinata because they're basically his nephew. So was Konohamaru and Naruto's little sister, Rin. So Obito popped up. Naruto pretty much just cut Obito in half and killed him. He didn't even have enough time to do Kamui. So the Zetsu attacked. Naruto pretty much just created like 1,000 shadow clones and just wiped the earth of them. So the Ten Tails will never had a Jinchuriki. And all the extra stuff would never happen. So they're pretty much living a peaceful life. And then after 5 years, Boruto has already went through the academy. He's a Chunin. He has 2 chakra natures, being wind and lightning. And Himawari's born. Is their daughter Himawari. She's 1 year old. And then she has she has 1 chakra nature, which is water. I think she'll be best with water. Well, she'll have 2 chakra nature, water and wind, and then her mom be like, "Oh, you might have my ice release," and then she'll be like, "Really, mommy?" And then she like puts her hands out, and then she creates like a little sharp piece of ice, and then she'll be like, "Mommy, I did it." And Naruto be like, "Wow, my kids are freaking OP prodigies. I would never be this strong." And then they pretty much live a happy ever after. Because Momoshiki them never felt the Ten Tails awaken, so they pretty much never come for the Nine Tails energy because the Jinchuriki would never all sucked up until like sucked all their chakra from them and stuff. So they pretty much live a happy life. None of that Momoshiki and all of them come down there because they never felt the energy of the Ten Tails. So that's pretty much gonna end off this video. Thank you guys for watching. 2 likes for my next series. Leave the suggestions in the comments.